who I am? Today we will find out who is Carl Gustav Mannerheim, how a small army managed to win against the Soviets, and who did not help Finland in this war. The first marshal, and the last in the history of Finland, commander of the White Guard military forces in the Finnish Civil War in 1918, commander-in-chief of the Finnish armed forces during World War II. Carl Gustav Mannerheim is considered the father of modern Finland. He was a polyglot and knew 6 languages. In 1889, having successfully completed studies at the Mykolaiv Cavalry School in St. Petersburg, with the rank of cornet, received the appointment of the commander of the exemplary squadron of the Guards Officers School. After the February Revolution in Russia, Mannerheim managed to make a military career, rising to the rank of Lieutenant General of the Russian Imperial Army. In January-February 1918, primarily thanks to his personal efforts, the Finnish National Armed Forces appeared, which defended independent Finland in the fight against Bolshevik armed formations, concentrated mainly in the south of the country. Mannerheim conducted active negotiations with almost all European countries, seeking help in a possible confrontation with the Soviet Union. For various reasons, neither Great Britain nor France wanted to help in the war with the Union. Already in May 1918, Mannerheim managed to win a convincing victory, and on May 16th, a victory parade was held in Helsinfors. If we recall the events of 1917-1919 in Ukraine, it is not difficult to identify a historical figure who could become the Ukrainian Mannerheim. This is also a former general of the Tsarist army and later hetman of Ukraine Pavlo Skoropadsky. Unfortunately, the historical situation in Ukraine at that time had significant differences from Finland, and Skoropadsky was not destined to repeat Mannerheim's success. The battle near Kruti was lost. This determined the history of the Finnish and Ukrainian peoples decades in advance. While the Finns defended and preserved their own sovereign statehood, the Ukrainians found themselves in the Soviet Union. By the way, Skoropadsky and Mannerheim were acquaintances. The long-term consequence of Mannerheim's policy at the end of the Continuation War was Finland's acquisition of a neutral status and its government's constant consideration of the interests of the USSR in foreign policy. At the same time, the Finnish state not only retained formal independence, its sovereignty was quite real. Unlike the countries of Eastern Europe, Finland was not occupied by Soviet troops. It retained all the main democratic institutions and, while remaining a full-fledged Western-style democracy, managed to make a colossal economic leap, significantly increasing the well-being of its citizens. The Finnish state was forced to cede approximately 10% of its territory. The losses of the Finns in the Winter War amounted to about 23,000 soldiers and officers, while the losses of the USSR were 5 times greater.